Hello everybody and welcome to Bases Loaded. I'm Scott Ashley Smith. I'm alongside here with Michael Cezzino, and on Bases Loaded today we're going to be talking about the National League West. And the National League West last year was basically a race between the Giants and Dodgers, but down to the end the Giants kind of faded and the Dodgers took control. And we all know that the Giants went on to win their third World Series in 5 years. Let's break down the National League West. And let's start with the team that won it last year, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Definitely. The Dodgers come back, very intriguing team this year. Made some positive moves, maybe made some negative moves. They got rid of Hanley Ramirez. They got rid of D. Gordon. In comes in Jimmy Rollins and Howie Kendrick to replace them. Whether that will add up or not is yet to be determined. On the field, probably not. In the clubhouse, maybe so. You know, that veteran presence in Jimmy Rollins. I just don't know quite what he has left in the tank. Offense, you know, there's no more Matt Kemp, no more Hanley. But for the pitching, you still have that pitching there with Kershaw and Greinke at the top. Arguably one of the best 1-2 combos in the game, if not the best. So that will always keep him in games. Bullpen's very solid, very reliable. I think the offense is just the only question mark at this point.
I think that the offense did take a step back. I do think that the clubhouse chemistry will be a lot better. You won't have the Hanley Puig pull against the Kemp because you got rid of the two sides in that one. Kemp goes down to San Diego. The front office is what I really consider key. Andrew Friedman coming from the Rays, yes,
the Rays.
And did wonderful things. Him and Joel Madden.
They did do wonderful
some
things.
Amazing things. So I really think the front office is going to be pretty good in that sense. Maybe take the Dodgers in
more stability.
Direction. Instead of spending money frivolously, they'll do some analytics. The Padres seem to do the most this offseason.
Yeah.
And with Matt Kemp, Will Myers, they just recently signed James Shields.
You're thinking David Price.
David Price. They should have.
Yes.
Tell me what you think about the Padres.
I like the Padres. I mean, I like what they did. I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't think it's quite enough for this season, but I do think it's showing their fans and showing their team that they do want to be competitive once again. It's been a while since they've been competitive. So, you know, that outfield's going to have Justin Upton, Matt Kemp, and you're going to have Will Myers. Will Myers probably the most talented of the three. I guess the only question mark would be how much can you get out of Justin Upton and Matt Kemp. They were kind of the leftovers in Atlanta and LA respectively. So can those guys get to the level that they were once accustomed to? If that's the case, then we're talking about a totally different Padre team. If not, it'd probably be more the same. You have James Shields at the top of the rotation, but he's never really been an ace, and now you're going to ask him to do that, but that's not really his role. So how he adjusts to that, we'll have to see.
And I think with Bud Black at the top of that, you know, steering that ship, I really feel that they've got the pieces together. I don't know if this is the year, but I think they could be competitive this season and actually give the Giants and Dodgers some fits throughout the season.
Definitely.
It's been so much said about should the Rockies trade to Tulowitzki? Should they trade Gonzalez? Should Cargo and Tulo go away?
That's the question.
Colorado Rockies,
as much as, and I'm a huge Tulowitzki fan, I think Cargo is amazing as well. I'd love to have them on the Mariners, of course, but, and I think any team would love to have them. The Rockies do have them, and we're kind of going into the same situation we've been in for about 3 or 4 years now, where that's all you have. And you're playing in a division where you have LA and the Giants, who obviously keep winning, and you're not keeping up. And now you have these two great players who are having amazing seasons, but it's for nothing because there's no pitching, there's no bullpen, there's no protection else around the lineup.
And they can't stay healthy.
So you have Tulowitzki can barely make it through a whole season. Obviously, if he stays healthy all 162, I mean, he could be the MVP, but that's a big if. So, you know, at this point in the game, the Rockies, probably by the All-Star break, are going to have to look into trading him and getting something for him, and it's time to start rebuilding all over again.
Before it's too late.
Yep.
Another team probably in just as bad a shape is those Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, if you can believe it, they're in actually worse shape than the Colorado Rockies because they do not have Troy Tulowitzki and they do not have Carlos Gonzalez. They have Mark Trumbo and Paul Goldschmidt, who will hit a lot of home runs and will do not a lot else. You know, pitching wise, there's really nothing there. There's really nothing coming up in the farm system. The bullpen's all over the place. I have no idea who's going to really play in the bullpen except for Addison Reed at the end. But a good closer is no good if you're only winning, you know, 55, 60 games a year. So I just don't know where the offense is going to come in, where's the base running, where's the pitching. Just question marks everywhere.
A lot of question marks with the Diamondbacks. I think where I really feel like the Dodgers have improved in their front office. I'm not sure if I'm sold on La Russa and Stewart in the front offices of
not yet.
Arizona. Yeah,
not yet.
At least not yet.
We'll see.
Of course, now we have 3 and 5, the San Francisco Giants.
Yes. Yep.
Aoki was added. McGee
Love
was
Aoki.
traded for. They really haven't given up much in that regards. And they lose out on Pablo Sandoval. They lose out on John Lester. They lose out, even though they offered more money, but it was early on. They lose out on James or David Shields, whichever one that they wound up, going for.
Yes.
The Giants.
The Giants, actually, I would consider their offseason a success. And the reason why is you didn't overpay for Pablo, you didn't overpay for Lester, and you didn't overpay for Shields. These are all guys who are good players, but that's just that they're good players. They're not really the big difference maker. Is there going to be much difference between James Shields is probably going to get you 16 games? Well, you're probably going to have Lincecum playing in your 5th spot. He's going to get you 13 and 14. So you're talking, there's not really much difference there. The Giants pitching already is good. You have Madison Bumgarner at the top. If Kane comes back how Matt Cain's supposed to be, you're going to really have no issues. Lincecum comes in a contract year, and he's always been at least serviceable, so he should be at least that, if not better. Offensively, I think Aoki at the top is going to be a very underrated move. He's going to prove that he's well worth it. Casey McGee can hold down third base until they either move Posey or do something else. But Pablo Sandoval, I honestly don't think that's a huge loss. I think Giant fans are probably remembering his postseason more than his regular season. But I just don't think there's going to be a big drop-off. I think the offense is still going to be based on contact, and there's still going to be good base running, still good pitching. So if I were a Giant fan, this is an exciting time, and you should be very pumped about your season because there's no reason why you think they can't go back.
It's a very good year if you're a Giants fan to think that they might break the every other year thing.
This could be the year. I would not be shocked.
That they've actually added some good pieces. And at the same time that they've added these good pieces, they've also kept some of the core. They seem to be able to do that very well, keeping their bullpen together, re-signing Romo. And a lot of people have complained about, the pitching's not so deep. Jake Peavy actually had a 2.17 ERA when he came over to the Giants.
Hard to beat.
And I think with him, and I believe Kane is going to have a bounce-back year.
Definitely.
Bumgarner is going to have no ill effects of pitching 1,000 innings in the playoffs.
Why not?
And I just feel like going forward, I think the Giants have a very good chance of not only winning the division, but I actually push them, not just because I'm a Giants fan, but I really feel they could actually break the every other year thing and win it this year. It'd be nice if they kept it going though, and win it next year, and then win it in 18 if they wanted to. Just maybe go on a
why not start new traditions?
Go on an every year tradition. We're going to do all this. Yes. So that is our National League West show. I'm Scott Ashley Smith.
I'm Michael Cezino.
And this has been Bases Loaded from the SAS Studios. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.